33 hours into fasting now. It's about 5 a.m. local time. I feel so lightweight and nothing can bother me. I had a good dream last night. I can't really remember what the dream was, but I tend to have better dreams when I am fasting. I've had a lot of nightmares these last 2 years. Lately, the nightmare has been revolving around a mandate that's going on, right, in the current environment. Before that, I was having nightmares of getting locked up and not having access to suitable foods, right? I have dietary restrictions. I had nightmares about getting locked up because I had this so-called contagious disease. Hate to mention what these mandates and conditions are, because I don't believe this is the last time we will run into tyranny. And then before that, I was having nightmares about losing my job due to out-of-control food cravings, which I have done before, unfortunately. Speaking of being locked up, I have been arrested over getting into an altercation over food craving kind of problems in the past. Not in the recent past, but I have before. It's just all around scary. The concept that I have to eat is just incredibly scary to me. But lately I've been having good dreams about being accepted for who I am, and so that's good. And I want to talk about the first time I ever came up with the idea that maybe I want to fast myself to death. Back on September 11th of this year, 20-year anniversary of 9/11. I was planning on going on a 2,996 minute fast, one in memorial for each victim that we lost on that day. 2,996 minutes is about 49 hours. I made it and I felt so good. There was no reason for me to break the fast at the end, so I just kept going. I was living in Phoenix, Arizona at the time, and I had a lot of friends there. I don't here in the Seattle area, because people here are very close-minded about their ways of life and their circle of friends. And you have to wonder how all those people got together, right? There had to be a day when it all started. Sometimes I look at the established groups here in Seattle. It feels like they just established over a big bang, right, at some point, right? And I wasn't part of that, right? I don't know. Did I start too late in life, or I don't know why. Whatever the situation is. So I had been fasting for 50 some hours. I went to the board game club where I love to play board games over there. I had a lot of friends at the bowling alley when I was living there. Not so much here in Seattle, unfortunately, which is why I hope we continue to have scare stories about the condition that's going on. I don't want people to actually die of the condition, but I love the scare stories because they allow me to live remotely. And so I felt like I didn't ever want to eat again. And I was talking to my family. Now my mom outright refuses to believe humans can live without food. I don't know if it's because she loves food. I don't know if it's because she's close-minded. I think it's more because she loves food. She used to be very overweight, and she has a different view. She thinks everything can be eaten in moderation. I do too, but I disagree on what is food in the first place. If you only eat food, yes, everything can be eaten in moderation, but you got to ask yourself, is soda a food? Is MSG a food, right? You got to ask yourself that, right? But she and I disagree on what food is, right? And so my mom gets very upset every time the idea that I want to invent a way to stop eating comes. She just gets very upset. Now you gotta understand, there was a time when there were only 5 or 6 chemical elements on the periodic table, right? We didn't stay that way, right? There was a time when aluminum was worth more than gold. There was a time when we couldn't dream about quarantine because we didn't have the ability to work remotely, right? We had to live with the Spanish flu, and how many people died? 50 million or so, right? If we didn't have internet technology today, we probably would have had to treat our current pandemic that way as well, right? Because more people are going to die if we don't allow ourselves to actually to go on with our lives because we didn't have internet, right? Do you want to stay that way? Right? That's the way I like to view it. Now, I felt so good. I was talking to my mom, and she doesn't believe that it's possible to live without food. And so my knee-jerk reaction was, fine, I'm going to die without food then. And I started to say goodbye to everybody significant in my life. I talked to my family about where I wanted my ashes to go. At the time, my favorite place in the world was Gdansk Bay, Poland. That has changed now. And so I'll make an update to my plans. I want my ashes to be scattered in Vantage, Washington, where there's a good view of the night sky. And I want some of my ashes to go to Wallace, Idaho, where I really got accepted for being single. And then part of it will go to Phoenix, especially somewhere near the Desert Botanical Garden, where I had such a good time. Right, both with the garden itself and with viewing the sky. Although not very late at night because they close. Right, I wanted to get a job there so I could go there at 2 in the morning to view a number of things. They were hiring, but then they claimed they filled the position, and then they started hiring other people. So who knows? Maybe I wasn't the right fit. Or they probably figured out that what I wanted to do, right? Whatever the case is, I had a good time there anyway. When my mom said that she didn't believe it was possible to live without eating, I'm like, fine, I'll die without eating then. And then it became a very romantic idea that I could just fade away after a good long fast, where I am just lightweight and happy. And like I mentioned, every time I fast, it almost forces me to rethink about my life. So I'm watching I've been binge watching some videos about the world's hardest exam. I'm writing a number of computer games. This is a 7x9 Connect 4 that I'm using machine learning to figure out. Live streaming, and it's almost like a portal has opened up to suction in all the stuff that I was missing out on, right? Anyways, 33 hours.